Well, alrighty then. How are you guys? Good to see you. Good to see you. Another episode of Rocking the Coast, and we got that guy back. How's everybody doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Right now, over on, I think it was, hold on, I'll tell you this minute. Let me find this email for you right now. On TikTok, Miss Muppet, how are you? Good to see you. Over on TikTok, she's got a stream going over there right now and trying to bring everybody from there over to here. So we might get room rated. Anyway,
so I've been, buddy.
Actually, I've been really well. Had a little bump in the road. We'll just call it that.
I feel you, man.
But it's gonna be all right, man. It's gonna be all right. I'm gonna keep my head up, and I'm not gonna let a certain someone, ruin my day. And here she is, guys. Here she is, the one and the only treasurer from the Greater Austin Aquarium Society, and the big bombshell, guys. You ready for this? The big bombshell. She's the owner of Stock My Tanks, and it's open to you guys today to get involved with her. So here she is, Miss Nathalie. Welcome to the stream, girl. Good to see you.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Oh no, hello. Thanks for coming up.
Sorry, I'm running a minute late. Was trying to figure out how to end the TikTok live stream. I was like, how do I end this? I want to get rid of y'all. No, I'm just kidding.
It's all good. It's all good.
Bluetooth connected.
So usually we'll start stream out and we'll say hi to everybody, and I've said a highs in the chat a whole bunch, but there's Miss Jess. How you doing? And let me fix this screen thing and make it easier. There we go. So there's Miss Jess and Anthony and 3G and T-Bone and Muppet and Vanosky Tanks, and who else we got in here? New Local Austin and White Chipmunks. Hi everybody. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Hi everyone.
Hello.
So, some of the big questions I have, and I don't know how long you've actually been involved with the society over there, but if someone say some guy in a small town in Texas, I don't know, maybe me, would want to start an aquarium club in the area, how would you suggest people go around to do that, or to get involved with one that's close by even?
Yeah. So from, again, I've been in the hobby for 15 plus, almost 20 years since I was a kid. So I've seen a lot of iterations of aquarium clubs. I grew up in Houston. Houston has super structured aquarium clubs. Austin, a little bit different of a story. There used to be some clubs associated directly with the main aquarium store, Austin Aquadome, which has been in town since I believe the late 70s.
I love that place.
Amazing aquarium store. If you're ever passing through Austin, Aquadome is just absolutely legendary. But I will say, I think if you're going to start one up, that might be a good first step, is like chat with a couple of stores and figure out if you have the support of those owners, because a big reason why people sign up for a club is because they're looking for some kind of discount.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, because the only big store we have, or the only store we have in this small town, is we call it a Pet Supplies Plus. I'm not sure if they would be kosher with giving people discounts just because of a club. I'm not sure. So I guess that would be something we'd have to talk to them about. But it's definitely something I really want to venture into. But
yeah, totally.
So I'll go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was even going to say, like, because you're talking about wanting to start one from a small town, something I would suggest is you could even partner with like online stores and try to start something with an online store owner, because they're not tied by geography and you don't necessarily need to have a big store. I think Pet Supplies Plus is, I think they're owned by a private equity company. I believe they're just like a, they're like, they're almost like a Petco, PetSmart, or that's their goal to become one of them. So
right.
They're probably not as local as you would need them to be to have those conversations, but
Cool. So I know we don't want to focus too much on the on GAAS too much, but there are some Texas folks here. Not a whole bunch, but there are a few. I know we rock, right? But tell them a little bit about the club, and if they wanted to get involved with it, how can they go about getting involved? I know that we're not really taking a whole lot of memberships right now because of the virus, but it's kind of slow. But later on, when things cool off a little bit, maybe they can get involved that way, at that time.
Yeah. So again, I'm Nat. I'm the treasurer of the Greater Austin Aquarium Society, also called GAAS, GAAS. You can find us online. We have a website. I believe our tagline is kind of crazy, but it says like, because your friends don't care about fish, which is like true. Sometimes we feel like there's just like our friends don't get it. Like, it's so frustrating. So if you feel like you need that community, we are here for you, and we would love to have you as part of our membership. Kind of like what Rocco was saying, though, it's been really tough to plan events that are in person. So we're not, actively looking for people to pay for membership at this point. But again, you can find us we have a Facebook group. I think we have over 2,500 members. So if you're anywhere in Texas, I would join that group just for the connections. And then, we'll be having hopefully some events in the coming months and years.
Sure enough. I mean, I know we got a lot of viewers that are in the Louisiana area too, that are real close to the border. So if you don't mind traveling to Austin or San Antonio or something like that, it's a great opportunity.
Yeah.
But the exciting thing that I really, really, really want to talk about, like forever and a day, Stock My Tank. You are the owner. You are the creator of Stock My Tank. That is like really incredible. And I'd been on the webpage before. I don't remember when I was there, but I was flipping through it because I got so many pages. I'm not gonna lie. I have so many pages bookmarked on my browser. It's not even funny. And I searched it and I was like, well, hey, this is already purple. I've already been here. So I started flipping. I was like, I remember this. So it's really cool. And, it's neat to know that, a lady in the hobby actually is a big driving force for stuff like that. So, I mean, that's a hats off to you. That's really awesome. But tell us some more about that. I mean, if you guys want to get involved, that's the lady to talk to right there.
Yeah, sure. So Stock My Tank is an aquarium marketplace completely online. So if you can imagine your kind of local swap events, we do all of that just online. Imagine Etsy for just aquarium stuff. That's what Stock My Tank is about. So I had the idea about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago, and I was on vacation and I was just like, I have to build this. It was like something I just knew once I had the idea. I was like, the hobby needs this. I am so personally tired of shopping for fish online and you just don't know like where to go because there's all these like small sites and some of them just aren't reputable. You never know what conditions these fish are shipped in. And then you go to your big box pet stores and it's a terrible shopping experience there. You go to Petco and PetSmart, you see the dead floating goldfish and you're like, why am I buying? Like, why am I spending my money here? I want to support somebody that really cares about these fish and will do them right and cares about how they're shipped, will make sure that they're packaged right. So that's what Stock My Tank is about. We take kind of the small local breeders and we put them online and let kind of the consumer decide what they're interested in.
Right. I know there's a lot of people in the fish fam that do a lot of shipping of fish. There's a few of them that I know that do a large amount. So is there a link or something they can go to get involved with that? Or
yeah, sure. You can just go to www.stockmytank.com. There is a sign up to sell button in the top right. I believe it's a blue box. You can fill out that form, drop your email. You can also just comment in the chat, sign me up, and I will rewatch the live stream later. And if anyone's interested, I'll make a note.
Oh, there you go. So if you're interested, guys, there you go. Just go ahead and put in the chat somewhere, sign me up, and she'll get you hooked right up. You can have your own account there and sell your fish, sell your wares. That's awesome, man. Now, is there a lot of like wholesalers involved with this too, or is it just mostly just small breeders and stuff like that?
No wholesalers at this point that I'm aware of. We have, I would say, almost 30 plus vendors selling actively on Stock My Tank. Most folks are making in the ballpark of a couple hundred a month on the site. So we have pretty good site traffic. Most of that is coming through TikTok. So I've been super excited just to see like the friends that I've made on TikTok when they sign up for Stock My Tank, like getting to like pay them out every month is like the coolest thing because I know how hard they work on their fish rooms.
Right.
That it goes back to supporting them and their families is like just the best feeling in the world. Right
on. Well, there's your first one.
Oh, awesome.
Jess from Maine's Tails Firm Fin said, sign me up.
Amazing. I got you, girl.
Sign me up. That's right. Cool. So now as far as the payouts go, so the money basically gets put into a pool and then it gets divvied out at the end of the month according to what you sell, right? Gotcha. Okay.
Yep. So it basically comes to me because I'm the marketplace administrator. And then after your items have been marked and confirmed shipped through PayPal, then you can request a withdrawal. So some vendors kind of just save up their money and then at the end of the month they say, hey, Nat, pay me out, request a withdrawal. Some folks prefer to be paid out right away, right after they sell an item. So it all kind of depends on people's own preferences.
Gotcha. So is there any kind of limitations at all? I mean, it's livestock, whatever you have, you can sell it.
It can be anything. So it can be live fish, any kind of live fish, so long as it's legal. That goes for any item on the site. So one thing that I am very particular about is if you're going to sell something like floaters, for example, are illegal in a lot of states. You do have to like confirm and acknowledge that by selling those, you will only sell to legal states. And I do make that pretty clear with my vendors. So that's the expectation. Everything will be above board. But other than that, live fish, plants, if you are a plant enthusiast, coral, if you have a lot of coral in your hands, you're, frag specialist, whatever you've got. And then even things that are just aquarium related. So if you're 3D printing accessories for the aquarium, or you have aquarium related stuffed animals or jewelry, I've had a lot of people come at me with stuff that they're selling on Etsy successfully and they want to see sold on Stock My Tank.
Way cool, man. Way cool. So Mystery Snail Guardians, she says, wow, 17.6 thousand followers on TikTok. Someone's been busy. Way cool. Well, there you go. And Mystery Snail Guardians and Crayfish Empire, they might want to talk to you too, because I'm not going to kid you, they, as far as snails go, some of the best snail food I've ever used. Well, actually, I should say,
wow,
I correct myself. The best. I'd say that is the best I've used.
Wow.
And even my plecos love this stuff. And then they have these little shrimp sticks that are fantastic. I mean, my shrimp will literally like gang rush this thing and attack it like an army, you know? And it's like in 5 minutes, it's gone. They're just like, they just destroy it. So it might be, you know, somebody you might want to talk to too, you know, get them involved as well. I know they did a giveaway on our stream the other day with me and Jess on the Aquatic Morning Show, and I was surprised. They had sent me one, they had sent Jess one, and I had no idea how much these things went for. These boxes went for almost $50 a pop.
Wow.
And they just sent it to us like, oh, here, just have one. We want you to check it out. Yeah. So
it's a box with snail food and like shrimp.
Oh man, let me show you. All this.
I love that.
And it's and you're talking about being packaged well.
Yep.
Beyond well. But I mean, it's got the Snello mix. You can make your own snail food with it.
Oh, I love that.
You know, you can add your little vegetables or whatever. It's got a big old bag of calcium. You know, it's got that.
That's so neat.
Gelatin in there. It's got you get a bunch of stickers with it too, and you get a little thing that breaks it down to what's all inside. You know,
that's so cool. So you know your ingredients.
Yeah, like everything, and it's all you can literally eat this stuff. It might not taste real good, but you can eat it. that's actually that's so cool. That's what I love about the hobby is like all the DIY stuff, like people just saying, you know, this is what I'm interested in learning about, whether it's fish nutrition or lighting, and they make their own components. The hobby is like one of the most innovative things out there, I think, for you to be a part of. So that's super cool.
I agree with that. And
I'm hoping that they get in touch with you because I think that would be because it is their business, you know, and I think it would be a really good business venture for them to get involved with that and get their name out there more. You know,
would love that.
So
that'd be so neat.
Right on. So, what kind of fish do you like to keep?
Yeah, good question. So I started out in saltwater. I actually made a TikTok about that like last week, and people were shocked to find out because I know that's like kind of not the normal way to get into the hobby.
Right.
But I started out in saltwater as a kid. This 72-gallon bow front, it wasn't this exact tank, but the same exact model and style tank was my family's first fish tank. So we kept a little bit of everything, mostly fish only for a multitude of years. And then I, again, moved to New York City for a bit where you can't really have fish tanks because you live on the 15th floor. And then when I moved back to Austin, you know, I was like, the hobby is just calling for me. I own my home now. So I was like, I just want to fill this place with fish.
Right.
Now I have this tank. I have a seahorse reef tank. I have a community planted tank. And then I have a 500-gallon above ground pond build, which like gets a lot of views on TikTok. Wow. Right now it looks hideous because it's going through an algae bloom, but
I gotcha. Wow. That's super cool. Yeah. I think we need to see that pond one of these days soon.
Oh yeah.
I want to see the seahorse. Oh my God.
Yeah.
She said that I was looking over it to see if Jess said anything because I know Jess wants horses so bad.
Yeah. I am obsessed. I would just sit right there and like stare at them.
Yeah.
All my life.
That's way cool, man. That is so cool. So, how do I put it? If anybody, let's say they have a bunch of guppies or whatever. They have a bunch of, you know, whatever kind of fish, and they're just getting overran with them, you know. As a new person getting involved with Stock My Tank, okay. Does it usually start off kind of slow for people and then kind of pick up as it goes? Or, you know, I mean, do people basically got to earn a name for themselves kind of thing? Or do people just like, hey, that's noticeable. That's awesome. Let's grab it, you know?
Yeah, I feel it's kind of a mixed bag at this point. We do have enough like website traffic, I think, that if you posted something and you have no Instagram, no TikTok, no following of any kind, people will see your products and there's a good chance that you will make a few sales. I do find the vendors that have, you know, the most luck are people that are pretty serious about their business. So these are folks that are definitely, you know, it's not just extra guppies laying around. It's they have a couple of tanks and they're,
Sure.
actively breeding.
Gotcha. So those are the people you're basically looking more for, the people that are breeding on a consistent basis all the time then. Gotcha.
That's the ideal person. But again, like it's open to anyone. So even if you just have something, again, you have extra guppies, feel free, jump on the site.
Man, I'm telling you what.
Do you have a lot of guppies? Is that?
No, I got a boatload of convicts.
Oh no.
Yeah. And the thing of it is convicts are so pretty, but
yep,
nobody really wants them because of the fact that they're very prolific.
Yeah.
They're like guppies, but just add water and you'll have more, trust me.
Yeah.
And I do have Oscars, but I was thinking, I could, feed them, to the Oscars, but I was like, man, I don't know if I want to do that.
Yeah.
I feel kind of bad. I do. It's horrible too, because I get so attached to my animals, Even my girlfriend's like, what are you going to do when that dog passes away? I said, I'll just dig a hole right next to him and I'll lay in it too.
Yeah. No, I can relate to that. I feel the same way. I have in the seahorse tank, there's this coral called a Kenya tree. And a lot of reefers talk about how prolific it just puts off more and more frags all the time. And literally looking over the tank right now, I see like the bottom of my tank is just covered in Kenya tree frags. And in the past, I felt so guilty throwing them out because I know that they're live animals. But at the same time, I'm like, I can't have any more Kenya trees growing in this tank.
Can't take it no more
for them.
This is enough.
Yeah. So,
well, there you go. Put it on stock my tank. It's a great idea.
Yeah, I've actually thought about that. Beginner coral pack. If anyone's interested.
Shoot, yeah. I don't know anything about saltwater, by the way. And that's something eventually I would love to get into, because some of the saltwater fish are just beautiful as could be. And I've seen Joe Shrimp Shack showed me some shrimp one time, and I was just like, wow, those are cool. Yeah, but they're salt. I'm like, oh, So now I'm thinking, maybe I might want to start a saltwater fish tank, and maybe put some shrimp in there, because there were some really cool ones. But like I said, I'm kind of scared because I really don't know enough about saltwater,
Yeah. Saltwater gets such a reputation for being super difficult and expensive. And that's something that I personally try to change the reputation of in my TikToks. I have a series called Dollar Store Reefing. I've made multiple videos about how I do reefing on the cheap and successfrag. So I've taken something like a soap dish from the Dollar Tree down the block. And I said, you don't need to spend $20-$30 on a frag stand. This thing has the perfect size holes. Put your frags in there. It's a piece of plastic. It's reef safe. Put it in your tank and you're good to go. So small things like that. Like, I think if we just talk about that, and in the saltwater community, I think it's important that people, admit to doing things on the DIY and doing them cheap, because there's a lot of big personalities that are like, you have to spend this $400 on this light. And I just really want to change that, like, more than anything.
Right. You just have an Aquarium light. I have the best light there is possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a light.
And as long as you're getting results, like, I think that speaks for itself. If you have a nice tank and it's something that you personally like and enjoy, I don't think it matters how much it costs.
Exactly. And that's kind of, I'm not a super DIY guy, but man, if I see something, my head will just start turning. It's like, what can I use that in the tank for? What can I use that? So I'll repurpose even like the I thought I had one up here, like the little here you go, I got a stack of them right here, the little net cups. Right, the little net cups. I'll put I can't remember the name of them things. They use them in aquaponics, the little clay balls.
Yeah,
clay ball.
Yep,
that's it. I'll put them in there, and then I'll put my pothos in there. And then I'll take some like the greenhouse plant wire, and I'll wrap it around there, and then I'll make little hooks to go over the side of my tank, and I'll put my pothos in them, so I can take them out whenever. Yeah, this is really things like that.
And then their roots aren't, rotting in your water. That's actually a really good idea. I love that.
Right, I do that, and then I've even taken, what was that? I bought something like 5-6 months ago. And and I kept the case that came in so I could keep it from getting broke. And I can't remember what it was because I broke it. but I had the container for it, and it was like a rectangular, but it was kind of deep. I just took my Dremel tool and drilled a bunch of holes through it, and I made a what do you call it? A breeder bag for my endlers.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah. So I mean, instead of going out and spending, 20, 30 bucks for a breeder, what do you call them? Breeder bag or box, whatever. I just made one like that. And, but I love the DIY thing, man. I think that's what one day I want to do, a competition or like a contest, do a contest on Rocking the Coast for who has the most awesome, DIY invention.
Okay, Rocco, I will also admit I'm a huge Redditor. And in the past, I have tried to set up a Reddit DIY aquarium competition. And
really?
It failed because so what I did is I posted on r/aquariums like 2 or 3 years ago. And I said, hey, I think that we do all this like aquascaping competition stuff, but it'd be so cool if we did like a hackathon, almost like we do in tech, if anyone works in tech. And I got 40 people to move over to this sub that I created specifically for a competition, like what you're talking about. And then, I posted and I was like, okay, next week is the competition. And then it just went dead silent. And
no.
Yes. And I don't know what happened. I was so soul crushed because I was so excited about these 40 signups. And I was like, this will be so much fun. And I had ideas and everything.
Right.
But when it came down to it, people were just like, I don't know. Like what I was.
Oh, man.
Yeah. It's so tough.
Okay. I'm supposed to check my phone.
Oh, go for it.
Check my phone.
Oh, Spotty says, I'm hearing some like background noise. I'm going to put my dog in the other room. I'll be right back.
Oh, really? So, do you guys have any questions you want to ask her about the excuse me, new tongue. Any questions that chat might want to ask? Where did Nightbot come from? I don't even have Nightbot loaded. That's crazy. But anyway, is there any questions you guys might want to ask Miss Nat about the Aquarium Society or Stock My Tanks? Please ask away, because I'm sure there's some people who got some burning questions.
Yeah.
What about you, Scotty? You got any questions?
I can barely hear. I think I'm having audio issues right now.
Oh man.
I heard my name.
I said, did you have any questions that you would like to ask her about either the Aquarium Society or about Stock My Tank?
So, do you guys have within the organization that takes donations?
So we get asked this a lot. People are like, how do we donate? And to be honest, we don't really have a good setup right now to do donations. Even at like the fall swap event, which was in person, somebody suggested there should be a table where you guys just take donations. Truly the best way to like give to the society is probably just by supporting it as a paying member. But again, just knowing like with the pandemic, it is pretty limited as to what we can offer you in return for your membership. You'll obviously be a member of the Facebook group and you can join the Discord, and there's a lot of like virtual things that we can do to connect you. But again, yeah, it's a little
right. I'm asking because I'm breaking down my rooms and I just want things to go.
Like actual physical donations, not even monetary. Yeah, we at one point, so there was a store in Austin called Amazonia for many years. And the owner, when she shut down her aquarium store, she just gave us like her entire storage unit and said, this is all for the club. And it took us like a year, but we finally got everything kind of shipped out to people on a like needs basis. Especially so obviously, as you remember, during the pandemic, during the pandemic, Texas had the snowpocalypse and a lot of people lost their fish. So our club kind of went through that where we were like, okay, we have this entire storage unit. How do we kind of like delegate items out? Oh, my dog is barking. Sorry, one second. Okay.
Man, I can barely hear y'all. I can hear, but I can barely hear y'all.
But yeah, if you have anything that you want to donate that's like an actual item, I think we still have plenty of space. So that would be awesome.
For sure.
Gotcha.
I've got a whole bunch.
Are you getting out of the hobby? Is that why you're...
No, not at all.
Oh,
Not
okay.
at all. Life's curveballs, I guess you could say, and then coming back with it.
That's good.
But I had breed discus and shrimp and all that good stuff, and I don't want to have them because it's just me doing all the work. You know what I mean? And I also have my other obligations, and I want to have just a group of livestock that I can legitimately take care of, and then, you know what I mean? Because going from like 100+ tanks by myself, you know, that's it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
So that's why I was asking that question.
Gotcha.
Now, my other question is hobbies, obviously, fish realm, and sea life and whatnot. What are your other hobbies?
Ooh, that's a good question. Let's see. So in my spare time, I really make an effort to run multiple times a week. I had a goal at one point to run a marathon, which I know doesn't seem that crazy and cool, but I think it's something that I still want to do at some point in my life before I get too old. So I'm working towards long distance running. I also just love hanging out with my dog. So I take her to competitive dog training. So she just got into nose work, which is basically like teaching your dog to sniff and identify smells. So we spend a lot of time working on that around the house. And yeah, you can hear her. She's like, she wants to be engaged right now. We've worked all day. Like, take me to the backyard.
Fish Kid 61 asked, does Nat ship dry goods to Australia and New Zealand?
That's a great question. I have never shipped dry goods to Australia or New Zealand, but we can probably make it happen. I don't know what the cost will look like. I imagine it won't be cheap, but if there's something you see on the site that you really want, we'll make it happen.
There you go, buddy. There you go. Now, I know I saw another question up here somewhere too. And Big Tank Hank, what's going on, buddy? Where did it go? Where did it go? Is it? I know Fish Kid asked another question. Oh, here we go. Right here. I'll post it up here for you so you can see it. What is the minimum tank size for a beginner reef tank?
I love this question because it's kind of controversial. There's a lot of mixed opinions on this topic. In my opinion, I think the Fluval Evo tank, which is 13.5 gallons, is one of the best beginner reef tanks you can buy for your money. I believe it's between $250 to $300 on Amazon. It has everything you can possibly imagine. Again, it's 13.5 gallons, so it's considered on the smaller side. For a lot of people would say that's too small to start as a beginner. I think if you're someone that is pretty disciplined about, making sure that your tank is in a place you look at it regularly, you can see if there's issues, you are proactive about fixing issues, 13.5 gallons is a great place to start. It's also great because, and that's what you saw with my seahorses, that's the exact tank that those are in. It's also great because a water change for a 13.5 gallon tank is pretty small, manageable for a lot of people to do on a weekly basis. When you get into a bigger tank, like the 72 gallon behind me, that water change can be a little brutal sometimes, especially for me. I don't really have arm muscle. So if you're trying to make your life as easy as possible, I think you can go as small as 10 gallons, no smaller.
Gotcha. I know I've seen you. My brother
I can hear you guys. I can hear you guys perfectly now. I don't know what happened, but it sounded like y'all were underwater for like 5 to 10 minutes now.
Oh, no.
Copy. Paste this right here for Fish Kid. There we go. There you go, buddy. Posted that back in the room for you, or the chat there for you.
Awesome.
So is there any more questions? Let's see. Great suggestion. Love Fluval anyway. Fluval does make a great product, I think.
They do. They really do.
So let's
any other questions, I can talk about my experience on TikTok if that interests anyone.
Yes, actually, it does kind of.
I know a lot.
I have one small little question because I'm very interested, but I'm very scared about starting saltwater. And I love inverts, and I'm obsessed with corals and seahorse. So, what? That's always been a dream of mine. I've always, since I was a kid, I'm a water baby, I guess you could say. And I don't like hurting things, and I don't like jumping into things without knowing. So, what would be the easiest way? Not necessarily cheapest, just because I want to do it right. I mean, cheap and expensive doesn't mean it's right. Yeah, you know what I mean. But I want to do it right. But what is the simplest, easiest way for a zero knowledge? I mean, I wouldn't have zero knowledge, but let's just say zero knowledge person to start a coral, a tank with coral, salt tank with coral.
Again, I think like the best option for beginners, really just go pay for the all-in-one tanks. They're called AIOs. It's, again, just like the Fluval Evo, where it has all the filtration in the back already built in. It's already got the pump that's perfectly sized. You will burn yourself, I think, if you're starting out in saltwater and you try to do a whole sump and you try to figure out how to manage all of that. And again, I think when you have a smaller tank, it really allows you to focus in on one or two things. So if you have a new coral, it's kind of the centerpiece. It's not lost in the, massive rock work. And you can just really keep an eye on that piece of coral and see, maybe if I change the lighting one day, how did that coral react? If I fed it something new, how did that exact coral react? And the more you can kind of watch tanks, I find the easier it is to learn kind of the balance of your ecosystem.
Right, because within the hobby and fresh to salt, it does kind of have the same, they have those packs that come in. Okay, you have this tank and it comes with yada, 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 etc. But obviously, there are some major differences. I remember I walked in to one of my locals and I was like, you know what? I'm ready. This is not just an impulse. I'm going to pull the trigger. And then I told the guy and I started looking up. I was like, are there any packs? And he's like, yeah, but you don't really want to do that. And I was like, all right, well then explain to me what I would need. And I had the cart. I was like, just put what needs to be in the cart. And I started looking. He's like, protein skimmers and this and that and test and sand and rocks. And I was like, buddy, I need to go take a course and then I will be back in like a year.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Is like, if you're coming from freshwater, the amount of tools that people have designed specifically for reef keeping is extensive. Like protein skimmers, there's different types. There's all sorts of lighting, and learning about
water jets. And I was like, oh my god.
That's the stuff I'm talking about. Where like, if you can just buy a system, again, Fluval is a great company. They have a great reputation. I'm not associated with them in any way, but they put together a tank, I think, that is designed perfectly for beginners because it has everything you need to at least get started. And then you can upgrade from there. I'm even considering, I think I'm kind of outgrowing the 13.5 gallon personally. So we'll probably be updating that soon. But, make it as easy as possible. Just buy it in package.
Right. Stephen P asks, what kind of fish can you stock in a 13-gallon reef system?
Yeah, so the great thing about saltwater is there are a lot of tiny fish that are super colorful. So, everything from a super small 6-line wrasse, those are beautiful. They have these kind of rainbow stripes going down their body. You can even get a clownfish, especially if you get them kind of young and, you can get them really well adjusted to your tank. Dwarf seahorses, that's kind of what I'm keeping currently. There's a lot of things that you can keep in a small 13.5 gallon that are, again, super colorful, nano fish. And yeah, you can just have a pretty good time. So
right on. Let's see. I thought I saw.
It's scary to get seahorses because if I get them, I'm talking like I would literally just sit there and I wouldn't do anything. I wouldn't live. I would just feed them and like watch them. That's all I would do.
Yeah, that's my current everyday. Yeah, I would say, I just want to call it out. Like, seahorses are considered to be a little bit challenging. So I wouldn't say they're the best, like, jump into saltwater, get a seahorse. I'm not advocating for that at all. They do need to be fed really regularly. So I had to design like my own feeding system specifically for the system. But, you know, if you get into saltwater and you spend a year or two and you figure it out, I think seahorses are a great fit. I can answer the next question too. How important do you think a protein skimmer is? I think that they are pretty critical to saltwater. I find if you don't have a skimmer on a saltwater tank, you will get this like murky film on top pretty easily. And I feel like you can definitely see it. Like, so my skimmer is set on the same schedule as my light. So I don't run my skimmer 24/7 on the Reef, but it does run for about 6 to 7 hours a day. And I do notice sometimes when the lighting schedule gets messed up because I'm cleaning or whatever, and the skimmer isn't run for a day or two, you can just kind of see the tank isn't as clear as it should be, which makes a huge impact on how healthy your coral is.
Oh, right on, right on. So,
see, because I've heard the opposite. You know, you don't need that. You know, I mean, if you want, I'm just like, no, I don't. I'm so confused. I want to do it right, especially like, you know, you have live animals in this thing. it's gotta be right, but
yeah, I don't personally know many people that get by without skimmers. I am trying something. This tank right here, I am trying without a skimmer. What I have that's kind of interesting is there's a YouTuber called Mike that I follow that I'm super interested in his reef tank because he applies a lot of the same principles from freshwater aquascaping. And one of the things that he's big on is using glass lily pipes in a saltwater tank. Historically, it's never done. So you can see kind of in the back of my tank over here. Maybe not. Maybe it's hard to see because it's glass, but I do have glass lily pipes on this tank. So there's no skimmer, but you know, on a lily pipe, there is kind of a skimmer inlet on top. So we're trying that out and we're seeing right now. I will say I did check the surface today and I'm not happy with how it looks. So I think I will have to.
Not happy.
But we're testing it out. We're learning.
Right. And T-Bone says, do you have plushy fish to sell? I think he's talking about the suction cup ones. I think that's what he's talking about.
Yes. I do not have any to sell, but at the fall swap event, there was somebody selling plushies. They're by a company called greenpleco.com. And I did research them. They're also on Etsy. I would love for them to be a Stock My Tank customer. So if anyone knows the Green Pleco people, and you're hearing this, like, they would Stock My Tank. But they are the actual manufacturer of those, you know, Pleco plushies that you see everywhere with the suction cups. I just got this weekend at the swap. So
way cool. I was gonna ask you how'd that go anyway. How'd the swap go?
Good. It was awesome. We had 15 vendors and we hosted it at a really cool Italian restaurant. So there were food and drinks and we had some great giveaway prizes that were donated from local aquarium stores, including a really nice JBJ cube aquarium that someone won. And they actually said, they were like, I can't believe I won. I'm going to set up my first saltwater tank. So I was super excited for them. And yeah, more, you know, I think the hobbies kind of headed in that direction where hopefully as saltwater becomes more accessible to folks, we'll see a lot more people do both freshwater and saltwater.
Right on. Okay. Now, I thought I saw.
Sorry about that.
Where'd it go? It just flipped on me. Okay, I think this is it right here, I think.
Oh, cool. I love this question. Nat, just asking, I'm really into starting a fish keeping business and aspire to do that when I am older. I'm wondering if you're interested in doing a talk about how you started on my channel. I would love to, Fish Kid 61. Again, I don't have that many YouTube friends. I just joined YouTube like a month ago. So, you know, love to meet more of the Fishtube community, if that's what you refer to yourselves as. Because we call TikTok Fish Talk. I don't know if it's Fishtube, but
it's Fish Fam.
Fish Fam.
Fish Fam.
Regardless of the platform. But yes, I would love to. Feel free. You can either just drop a comment on my TikTok or reach out through however you can find me.
Right on. And Mystery Snail Guardians asked, Nat, do you like mystery snails?
I love mystery snails. Mystery snails are super cool. I don't have that many snails in my personal collection right now. I think I have Neorites in my planted community tank. Yes, but I have seen, I'm really into like rabbit snails as well. Those are so cool looking. Like, I feel like someone could have a whole business of just like making little snail setups for kids, because I know so many little kids that are like, the only thing they care about in my tanks are the snails. Like, that's it.
Right. I know we got a few folks that sell snails here. We got, was it Lav? We have Lav that sells snails. Foxy's Fishes that sells snails. So yeah, I definitely got to get those people over to stock my tank and make it a little easier on them, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So
I'm curious too to hear like if people are having a good experience selling on eBay, Etsy, like what are people's stories? How did they get started? What are the pains of using those other platforms? So if anyone is, interested in talking about that, like I would love to just hear your feedback and be a listening ear.
Right on. Maybe one of these days we could get together and do a collaboration. Maybe Stock My Tank could, maybe, I don't know, sponsor Rockin' the Coast or something.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yes. I would love that. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
That would be cool. I was kind of kidding around, but kind of not kidding around. But yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. Yeah, not kidding. I'm really trying to grow this business. So
no, yeah, and I mean, I like to help people out as much as possible. Where if I can help you by helping out the rest of the fish fam, and bring you into the fish fam, and we could all just be one big happy rich family selling all our wares together.
Yeah.
How much better could it be, right?
Totally. Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, that's basically what it is, in short,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, if I've learned anything, it's like, when you provide value to other people, like value comes back to you. It's all kind of
absolutely.
It sounds so cheesy, but it's really true. Like if you ask for things and then you're not really giving any value in return, you're not going to see much success. Yeah.
Right on. So yeah, I was gonna say Stephen P said he's had really good success on eBay, but the fees are very high.
Yeah.
You want to elaborate on that a little bit?
I'll definitely talk about that. So there are fees associated with selling on Stock My Tank. Right now, our payment processor is PayPal. So everyone knows PayPal takes approximately a 3% cut on every transaction. There's really no way around that. I am moving most of our vendors over to Stripe. It doesn't really change the processing fees. They're still about 3%, but Stripe is a little bit more secure and a lot faster. And then Stock My Tank, obviously, like I pay for a lot of the engineering on the website, and there's a lot of other things that I have sunk costs into. So I do take a transaction fee as well. It's about 4% on top of the 3%. So it is very similar to eBay and Etsy in that regard. But I will say, I want to share this because this is very, very important. My long-term goal is not to charge the vendor. My long-term goal is to grow this website so big that there's enough traffic that I can make my money from sponsorships from the big brands. I want Fuval to be posting on Stock My Tank. I want ads, or not even ads, but sponsored, equipment posts, etc., to just pay for whatever I need on my end. I don't think that long term I want to take from the pockets of the vendors. It's not right. Y'all are small businesses. I'm a small business with you. It's just kind of in this early startup phase where, I'm trying to grow the website. I have marketing expenses. And so that's the business model we have today. But again, want to share long-term, the business model is not to take transaction fees from any vendors.
Way cool.
That's awesome.
You heard it here first, guys. Right here.
Yes.
That's way cool. Yeah, because I know that big fees. I know eBay. I'm not really for sure what the fees are on eBay, but I know they're not small by any means. I know that.
Yeah.
Just judging by when you look at eBay and you see how people list their things, I know I can go to the store and buy that for $15, but you're going to charge me $25 and then another $15 on top of that for shipping. It's like, wait a minute. So I get it. I understand where it comes from. So it's nice to hear that, nobody's going to be taking, 15%, that's
No.
it's half of what eBay does.
No, I believe stock by tanks fees are slightly cheaper than eBay and Etsy right now. I think eBay goes up to 10% and Etsy has a lot of other fees built in, 13%. Exactly. So, at the end of the day, my 3% to cover my PayPal expense plus 4% on top is like, I think it's really manageable and doable for a lot of people out there.
Right. That's way cool. So Jimmy P asks, does Stock My Tanks only accept high grade fish?
No, not at all. We have a lot of fish that are as simple as guppies, endlers. These are, I don't want to say they're not high grade because some people do breed them to be high grade, but in a lot of cases, they're just regular fish that somebody probably just keeps in their backyard tubs. So we are open, and the people that shop on Stock My Tank are looking for all kinds of things. Most of our shoppers, I would say, are not looking for super expensive rare fish right now. I see a lot of people checking out buying snails. Snails are a huge seller on the website. Shrimp packs are also super popular. So oh, cool.
Right on.
Another comment. So many comments, man.
The lively bunch.
It is.
Rocco Fish Room says, or excuse me, Fish Kid says, Rocco's Fish Room, I have some exciting news. I'm finally cycling my DIY divided 17 gallon for some betas. Have you got any tips for betas and breeding them? Man, you know what? I think betas are just like any other freshwater fish. Water quality is paramount. You got to have clean water. It's just like, are you going to live in a room that's full of smoke for very long? No. Well, they're not going to live in a dirty tank for very long either, so just keep the water clean. And as far as plants, I mean, you got to have plants, and they got to have their little, what do you call it, like a little hide thing, a little hammock, whatever. But if you really want to know somebody that's really good to talk to about betas, I mean, I don't know if Natalie has any experience with betas or not, but there's Lisa from KG Tropicals, and even Miss Jess. Miss Jess breeds betas herself. So, I mean, she actively breeds them. She don't just, so I mean, that would be personally, that would be who I would point you to talk about breeding betas, because I've never bred betas. I have betas, but I've never bred them. So,
yeah,
okay.
I am not much of a beta person myself, so don't have too much advice on that front.
I want to get some snails. Well, there you go, RB. As soon as somebody posts some snails on Stock My Tank, you can go ahead and get them there.
Yes.
Is Jeff still in chat? You know what? I don't know, buddy. To be honest with you, I'm not really for sure. So,
yeah. So with my experience in breeding fish, like I said, my only real experience is the accidental ones I've had. Like the ones I get, like the rams or what have you, that I wasn't even thinking about it. But the purposeful, with the discus, what I noticed was, well, I guess it's easier in the beta realm to distinguish the sexes. But for discus, it's identifying, obviously, like Rocco said, water quality, different structures, different, things to make it comfortable. But the setting of the mood, honestly, live foods trigger with discus. Different light. So I have a fluval, and so when I switched it it was like a storm setting, it would dim the light and it would flash like every I don't know, probably like 20 minutes or something like that. It triggered, and then doing a water change, like waiting a little bit and then doing a pretty decent 30-40% change or something. And what I noticed was it was mimicking kind of storms, the actual storm, new water coming in, and then that triggered their breeding, and I was like, whoa. So it's not just a wait. Sometimes you have to do it with the dividers and let them kind of, if they're aggressive fish naturally, let them see each other and kind of get used to it, and then the male starts, sticking by that end of the tank more often, I just take them and put them in there.
I love that. Gotta create the vibe.
Right.
Create the vibe, the nuance, next thing you know, he'll be out there with some champagne glasses and wine bottles and stuff,
Yeah. And a little heart-shaped hot tub with some roses.
Right.
That's funny, guys.
So
hey, I care about how they feel. Okay.
Good.
Right. They have feelings too.
I don't force relationships.
So Rico Stan says, what separates Stock My Tank from places like Get Gills and Our Fish Collective?
Yeah, this is a great question. So I would say what separates us is I have built Stock My Tank on the vendor's backend side. So your vendor portal is built out to make your life as easy as possible. I am not familiar with what Get Gills offers its vendors, but on Stock My Tank, your shipping and labeling is all integrated through our partner Shippo. So very similar to Etsy and Facebook Marketplace and eBay. As soon as you receive a customer's order, you can just click a button and your shipping label is printed, attach it to your package, and you're ready to go. I want to make it as easy as possible for people to have their side business. And I actively hold conversations with our vendors and ask, what tools do you need to make your life easier? So I think that might be something that separates us. But again, I haven't used Get Gills personally. So if they have that feature or they have other features that are helpful, I don't want to speak poorly of anyone.
Right. That's way cool. Way cool. I didn't know you did all that. I mean, I was like, dang, that's quite a bit actually.
Yeah, I feel like people are always shocked. They'll log into Stock My Tank and they're like, oh my gosh, there's so much here. Like you can see your order value over time. There's charts and graphs. It's super functional. Again, I'm competing with eBay and Etsy. Those are who I think my competitors are. So I need to make sure the vendor experience is equal and parallel.
Gotcha. Awesome. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Let's see. I think that's it. Well, look, we got 4 minutes left.
Yeah.
So is there anything you want to put out there to everybody that you want to ask everybody else maybe?
Yeah, no, I mean, I have questions for y'all if you have time for that. I'm super curious. Like, what was your first YouTube video? How did you get on Fishtube? And what has that journey been like?
My first video was just me talking about, hey, I'm going to start this YouTube channel and I'm going to show you the progression of my fish room. And it hasn't really progressed a whole lot, but well, no, because I got hurt at work, and it really put a damper on things, so
yeah.
But and I had some really good influencers. I had what's his name, Veteran Aquatics, Danikin Aquatics. I had Mel, the Hawaiian fish keeper. There were just so many of them, and then I would start going to the streams, and then I met Jess, and I met just everybody, and everybody was just so warm and welcome. I was like, okay, this is really exciting, and I really like being here, so here I am. I'm staying. I'm not going anywhere.
I love that. That's awesome.
That's how I got started. I had some really good influencers, and they were, when I say good influencers, is because I could talk to them and they wouldn't talk down to me like, oh, you've got 3 subscribers, really? Whatever, dude. They didn't talk to me like that, and that meant something to me. So
yeah. Do you find it's pretty tough to grow on YouTube these days?
I'll say this: if you put content out, people are gonna look at it. You know what I mean? As far as getting more people, to subscribe to catch the next one, that might be a little tricky, but as long as you're putting out good content, and you're not being crass, I don't see a problem with people getting viewers and getting subscribers and stuff like that. As long as you're putting out good content, so.
Right. Stuff that people want to watch.
Exactly. Yeah. Good information. Even if it's I'm not a very charismatic person, but I like when I'm watching YouTube, I want information. Yeah. I want to download. I want to learn. So I'm always trying to find, well, it's like when I brought you up here, it's like, okay, well, hey, tell us all about, Stock My Tank. I know we got people in the fish family that sell fish and they sell, fish food and just everything. And they could definitely benefit from it. So teach us more about what you got going on. That was my whole thing. So that's why I come to YouTube.
And I'm in the same boat. That's why I was asking you, trying to pick your brain about seahorses. So,
right.
Yeah.
And Terry's Tropical Tank says if he can get subscribers, anybody can get subscribers.
So sad.
Terry. Terry's a good dude.
That's
He's
so
good.
funny. I love it. Well, thank you so much for having me on. It's been awesome. I'm so glad we connected.
Absolutely.
Y'all's live stream is so cool. And, I think we met through the Aquatic Morning Show, but I was like,
Yeah.
This is the coolest concept, just having like live stream conversations with other real fish friends. I just feel like more and more as I meet people in the community, I'm just continually like impressed with everyone's super cool projects. And so thank you for the opportunity to talk about Stock My Tank.
No, absolutely. Now, if anything changes with GAAS or with your Stock My Tank site, let us know, man. Come on, we'll have you come up and spread the word again. Absolutely.
Yeah, would love to.
And I'm
if there's
sure
anyone out there
Jess
that-
would love to have you come up again sometime too. So
Yeah, totally. I'm open to working with, anyone who wants to just chat. So let me know. And then if anyone out there is listening and they're interested in joining Stock My Tank, please do reach out. Would love to have a conversation with you and connect. So you can find me on TikTok, drop a comment there, or I'll rewatch the live stream and see if anyone was interested in signing up.
okay, one last thing. This kid 61 says, Rocco's Fish Room, could you please tell Miss Nat that I will send her an email, the one on her website about the collaboration, and please thank her so much.
Perfect. That sounds awesome. Yes, my email is on the website as well. stockmytank@gmail.com. So
Fantastic.
easy.
All right. Well, my show's getting better and better. Happy and proud to be part of it with you. Thanks, brother. Thank you, man. You're the best, brother.
Wow, that's so
Appreciate you.
cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
So, Miss Nat, thank you so much. I'm not going to take up more of your time because I know you're super busy. Thank you so much for being here with us. Scott, thank you, brother, for being you, man. Love you, brah. And the viewers, you guys are the best. We love you guys. Can't do it without you. And my mods, paramount, above the best, way above the best of ever. You are the icon mods. You know what I mean?
Iconic.
That's right. So, guys, take care of yourself. God bless. We're out of here.